All right, let's get into this. We usually think about learning a new language as just a practical skill, right? Something to stick on your resume or use on vacation. But what if I told you it's less like studying a textbook and way more like taking your brain to a high-intensity gym?
And hey, don't get me wrong, traveling, boosting your career, connecting with different cultures, those are all amazing reasons to learn a language. That's what we all think. But what neuroscience is showing us is, well, it's a much deeper story, one that's happening entirely inside your head.
That's right. You're not just memorizing vocabulary, you are physically rewiring the very structure of your brain. It's like you're building a new you, one neuron at a time. So how on earth does this incredible transformation actually happen? Well, it all comes down to this incredible property of our brain called neuroplasticity. This is the core mechanism, the engine that powers all the cognitive benefits we're about to dive into.
Think of your brain not as some fixed hard drive, but more like living, adaptive clay. The more complex the task you give it, and believe me, learning a language is one of the most complex things you can do, the more it actively reshapes itself. It literally creates new connections and pathways. What's so wild is that language learning isn't happening in just one little corner of your mind. Nope. It is a full brain workout. It forces your memory, your logic, your attention systems, all of it to fire up and work together. It's the ultimate cognitive cross-training.
And listen, this is not just a cool metaphor. Brain imaging studies, like a really important one from 2004, have actually shown that people who speak multiple languages have measurably more gray matter density in key parts of the brain. You are literally building a stronger, more connected brain.
Okay, so that's the science behind it. Now let's talk about how this rewiring actually translates into real-world upgrades you can feel every single day.
This right here is the key mental muscle you're training. Every single time a bilingual person speaks, their brain has to actively pick one language and push the other one down. This constant act of selecting and suppressing is an insane workout for your brain's executive functions.
And that's the payoff. That mental muscle you build from switching between languages, it translates directly into being able to focus better in a noisy office, juggle multiple projects at once, and just tune out all the endless digital noise of modern life. But the benefits don't stop with just daily focus. The stakes actually get much, much higher. We're now talking about protecting your brain for the long haul, building a mind that's way more resilient to the challenges that come with aging. The big idea here is what scientists call cognitive reserve. All that training, all those new neural pathways, they essentially build a backup generator for your brain. It's like a stockpile of resilience that your brain can tap into when it really needs it.
Now, this is a really, really important distinction to make. Learning a language is not a cure for diseases like Alzheimer's. The actual biological damage might still be happening. But a brain with a high cognitive reserve has built so many alternate routes, it can simply work around the damage, kind of like taking a detour when the main highway is shut down.
And the effect is, well, it's staggering. Landmark research found that, on average, bilingual individuals showed the clinical symptoms of dementia 4 to 5 years later than those who only spoke one language. Think about that. That's up to 5 more years of high-quality cognitive life. All right, so we've got better focus and long-term protection. But the brain of a multilingual person also develops some truly unexpected abilities, cognitive side effects that are as surprising as they are powerful.
So here's a myth we need to bust, that when you speak one language, the other one just completely shuts off. The reality? Both of your languages are always active, constantly competing for your attention. Your brain is basically refereeing this tiny tournament all day long, which is an unbelievable workout for your decision-making skips.
This constant mental juggling leads to this fascinating psychological quirk called the foreign language effect. See, our native language is deeply tangled up with our emotions and memories. But thinking in a second language creates some distance. It kind of dials down that emotional static, which lets you think more clearly. So here's a practical tip. Next time you're facing a really tough choice, try this. Step back and frame the problem in your second language. Just that simple act can help you disconnect from those gut-level emotional reactions and approach the whole thing with a much more logical mindset. So as we start to bring this all together, what's the ultimate takeaway? Learning a new language isn't just about adding a skill. It's about building an entirely new intellectual superhighway inside your own head. So here's the final recap of your brain's transformation. It becomes more connected, more focused, and way more resilient. You get better at abstract thought and flexible problem solving. But maybe the biggest benefit of all is that you're not just learning a language, you're literally training your brain to master any complex new system, whether that's coding or some new technology.
And in the end, this is probably the most profound change of all. Every language is its own unique way of structuring reality, its own map of the world. By learning a new one, you give your brain this incredible gift of perspective. You learn that there's always more than one way to see, to think, and to be.
So the final question isn't just about what language you might learn, it's a bigger one. It's about seeing this as a long-term investment in your own mind, in your own intellectual clarity. It's really about deciding what kind of mind do you want to build for your future.